Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Rayanna Campbell. I am a student advocate for the Data Analytics and Program Evaluation Program. Just want to give us a few seconds for people to trickle in. We have a few folks who are still joining, and then we will get started shortly. I have a couple of panelists here with me today that I'm really excited for you guys to meet, to get to know, to give you more insights about the program. And it looks like most of us have joined. Wait, still some. Okay. All right. Think we can go ahead and get started. So again, as I mentioned, my name is Rayanna Campbell. I serve as a student advocate, which essentially means just making sure that you have everything that you need to be successful as a student. Some of you may be coming back to school after being out of school, or maybe you're going straight in from your bachelor's degree to your master's. I'm here to really understand what that journey looks like for you and to help make that possible. So just one of the resources that are offered. And then just some quick housekeeping items. This info session, we're going to be about 45 minutes. If we have some good questions, I'll also be answering them, taking them in the chat. We will have a recording, so if for some reason some of you may be driving home or just settling in, so we do have that available. And then, of course, if you haven't already done so, do connect with an enrollment advisor. That way they can give you feedback on your individual circumstances. But of course, I will answer as much as I am able to. And then to speak with an enrollment advisor, just make sure you get this number down, that 1-800-411-2290. Or you can also chat with us at uonline.miami.edu. All right, so just to kind of give you an overview of the program is 10 courses total. Two of those courses you'll actually take twice. So you'll see a slide with the actual courses that you'll take, and you'll see 8 of them, but just know 2 of them are taken twice. Some of them are taught by one of our panelists, which I'll introduce shortly. It takes about 20 months to complete. Do note no GRE or GMAT is required. Important information as well. The semesters that you guys have are broken into 2 sessions. Those are 7 weeks each. So that essentially means that you're taking one course at a time. You have about a 1-week break, and then you're taking your next course. And then between semesters, you have a 2-week break. It is fall, spring, and summer. Um, just as a heads up. But if you do need any kind of flexibility, just be sure to talk with your advisor, communicate, and we can see what we're able to do. Do know it is an accredited program university, and there is a cumulative project at the end, so you're not only learning things but also demonstrating what you've learned to apply it. All right, so back to my favorite part, our panelists. So our first panelist is going to be Dr. Soyeon Ahn. She is the Vice Dean of the School of Education and Human Development, but beyond that, she's also faculty, so she actually gets to see how students are learning, what you guys are learning, etc., and continuously improve the program to meet those goals. So you'll get to hear about her and her role. And then we also have Kelvin Medina, who is one of our current students who is getting ready to graduate, to give you guys nice rounded perspective about what it's like to actually be in the program. Thank you both again for joining and being able to offer your insights. All right. So I wanted to just kick things off as well to Dr. On, just to kind of talk about what the classes are.
Sure. So, hi everybody. Thank you, Rihanna, for great introduction. So, well, I have multiple titles, but my main title is to work with you guys as faculty members. I'm also teaching a couple of classes over here. And at this point, I'm also doing capstone project, which is the last one over here, which is EPS 825. So that is a capstone classes that is split into two sections. So spring 1 and the spring 2, that's what's going through with the Calvin cases. So that one is having those two sections of 825. You're done with the capstone project, which is similar to, you can think about as master thesis. And then the classes of the A classes are separated into two blocks of the buckets. So one block of the bucket is data analytics, and the other bucket is a program evaluation portion. So one portion is having 702 quant 2, 703 multivariate statistics, 704 doing computer programming using R and SAS. And then the last one is in EPS 711, which is the first one, machine learning using Python. And then that's the first bucket. And second bucket is a 714 qualitative methods, 717 survey research methods, and 711 inside that one, we do have a text analysis slash sentiment analysis and EPS 625, so program evaluation. So you can think about one portion to be program evaluation and the other portion to be data analytics. Once you're done with the A classes, you're getting into capstone projects, which is your master thesis that Calvin is having fun right now to work on. And he's almost done. So that's my curriculums that we are having it here.
Amazing. So just want to ask a few questions to Dr. An and Kelvin. But first, Dr. An, you talked about just kind of the program languages, the courses. Do you find that there are any particular academic or professional backgrounds that make a student successful in the program?
So maybe Calvin talked a little bit more about this one, but from my ends, if you're not afraid of any numbers or any interaction, any data that we say about, if you're not really afraid of that one and try to make sense of it and try to contextualize those data in a way that they can have a little live out there. So I kept saying, whenever you have a number is a number. Number doesn't say much. Whenever the number has some, I guess, some living going on, and that the contextualization is the one that we are saying to be data-driven decision making. So for me, I don't think that you really need any discipline knowledges, or of course, if you have some mathematical background, having computer programming skills, that will help. That doesn't mean that will get you always successful, I guess, a student. From my end, passionate and not afraid of it, motivated, and work hard like a Calvin, then I think that will be the requirements for anybody. And the last one is enjoy. That's all I care.
Awesome. Kelvin, what about from your end, being a student? Anything that would prep?
Yeah, I probably would echo a lot with what Dr. An has mentioned, right? If you have any computer science, mathematics type background, yeah, then you'll be in a slight advantage, right? Because it's a lot of those concepts. But to get some perspective, like I am a senior BI developer now, right? But I'm the only person with some sort of mathematical technical background in my whole class. A lot of my classes are there in sales, they're teachers, they're working in non-technical fields, right? And they're looking to either advance in their career and use data as part of what they've learned so far in their career, or trying to make the switch into a more data analytics type of role. So, and we're a group of, I want to say in the 20s. So, and we've all made it this far together. No one has dropped out from our cohort. So it the idea of math and computer science may seem scary to some, but the pace of the class prepares you really well, right? You start off slow, you start off with the basics, and then you in each class and each week you're continually just like kind of ramping it up all stacking up against each other, right? And you can go as far as you want, as far as how you want to, you know, take your technical skills or your mathematical skills, because at the end, each class has a project, a final project that you use all those skills that you've learned in those past 6 weeks into that project, right? So yeah.
Amazing.
He's
And
better than me. He answers all the question better than me. That's why I kept saying that everybody passion and motivation is the best one to have it in this program.
it's just different facets for sure. And to both of your points, it's something that we want to set you all up for success. So we do have a statistical review just to bridge those gaps in your orientation process. So again, if you're thinking numbers hasn't been my strong suit, there absolutely is an ability to make what you've possibly considered your weakness your strength. Kind of kicking it back to Kelvin as well. You talked about you and your classmates and your cohort. I think one of the questions that sometimes people have about fully online programs is how will I connect? Where is that in-person aspect or that face-to-face aspect? How have you been able to form those connections with your cohort members?
Oh yeah, definitely a lot more online for sure. For us, we have our own group chat and WhatsApp group that we hit each other up almost like multiple times a week, either asking for advice from each other from a career perspective, because we all come from different backgrounds and all have different kind of perspectives and just a diversity of talents, right? And we also like ask each other for help, or hey, can you review this paragraph? Hey, can you review this paper I wrote? I don't feel so good about it. What do you think? Right? We've definitely done that before. We asked each other for help, for sure. Definitely the coding help for sure. Where it's like, hey, I'm having trouble. Why is my code not working? Is anyone familiar with this error that I've done? Right? We get a couple of those, and then we just talk to talk. Right? We just talk about casually, making jokes, maybe talking about the University of Miami football games that have been happening. Right? Talking about sometimes that comes up a lot. So yeah, that's how we kind of get on that social part. And then we're making plans for graduation to meet up and everything as well. For that final hurrah that we will all make at the end.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Yes, you will all make it. Absolutely. Dr. On your side, what opportunities in the program are there for students to connect with their faculty members or instructors?
Sure. So it depends. And, we have office hours. We also do have a live streams going on every week. And some people choose to come for live streams. However, the live streams are also all recorded and shared after the fact that we are done with the live streams. So it depends on your schedule. You can come and get to know about that one. And the way that I scheduled my office hour is on the Saturday. So I usually think about myself to be the person who goes Friday, and that's the day that you just relax, and then Saturday morning nothing happens much. So that's the time that you can just wrap up with your weekly assignment. You just show up in the office hours. And that's the way that I framed my classes to go. So that in that way, someone, not busy on the day, or maybe they have to do something after the fact, that some people need to go for birthday party or kids' birthday party. That's the time that you can just come up and just ask questions. So it depends, but at the same time, I also always have my little link on my email that anybody can schedule the meeting whenever they want. So that's what we are trying to have it as much as possible. Calvin is the nicest person. He comes in the office hours and live streams, but at the same time, he's very nice. Oh, maybe this way we're not coming, but here's my questions. Here's something that you can answer. So email can be another one that we are responding quickly. So as much as you guys can utilize our interaction, I think that's the one that I can see as a faculty interactions.
Amazing. And we have two participants who actually read my mind when Kelvin was talking about classmates and their work schedules. Kelvin, you are working but also going to school. How has the program fit into your work-life balance?
It's definitely a lot. It's definitely tricky. I mean, it's not easy, but there's extreme scheduling, extreme agenda, extreme organization needs to take in, right? work that 9 to 5, and then, either go to the gym, right, for like an hour, come back. By that point, it's like 7 or 8 p.m. Hang out with my fiance, do my job as a partner, and then once she goes to bed, I do schoolwork. So I usually do schoolwork I'm a night owl. That's just me. Like 9 p.m. to like, depends how much work I have, like 2-ish a.m. But that's me. That's how I function. Some people from my cohort, they have children, right? So that's a whole other factor that comes into it, right? So I'm not sure what their schedules are, but I know some of them, they rather wake up earlier before working. So they rather wake up, eat breakfast, and then do homework during the morning, right before going to work, kind of get that brain started with homework, right? Or with their project. I know that's how they kind of do. And then some also, they have the flexibility, right? Working a little bit during the day, then work on their job, and then off and on, right? So you kind of need to find what works for you. But I mean, yeah, there's definitely some times and some hours, and can't really watch all those Netflix shows that you probably want to watch, right? You're probably gonna have to wait, put those on hold until you finish your classes and your homework assignments before you get to do that. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I think the beautiful thing is you don't have to do it alone, right? So you have your cohort members who, even if you have moments of lower internal motivation, you have people around who are working towards a common goal. And then when you are assigned your student advocate, that's something that you can work with them about, is just having those conversations of, okay, what does your schedule look like, and when realistically are you able to get these things done? And then I saw a question in the chat regarding if it's synchronous or asynchronous. It is fully asynchronous. However, the meetings that Dr. On talked about, that is your time to be able to have your questions answered in real time. A lot of people in the program may be new to the languages that you guys are learning or working with. And so having that live session, it's super valuable. I've seen students turn from failing to literally getting an A at the end of the class because they were consistent and going. So although, it is not required, it's something that I strongly recommend if you move forward to actually carve out time to go to. Again, easier said than done because some of you may be in different time zones, of course, but we try to make that a flexible time, as Dr. On alluded to. Anything that you would like to add to that, Dr. On?
No, so for me, it should be asynchronous because that's what we are trying to use for online. But this is my perspective. Whenever I speak, the language makes sense to you. But whenever someone speaks, like a Calvin speaks about something that doesn't make sense from whatever I said to you, maybe that's the time that you can come to live sessions and get to hear from what other colleagues are thinking about that one. Maybe those colleagues are asking other questions that really click to you. And for me, it is all about, what points you get click into whatever the concept that we are getting into it. So it doesn't have to be always asynchronous. Anything that you can learn from your peers and your faculty or yourself, I think that's the way that it should be working. So that's how I think about learning modality. And because of the beliefs, I want to do as many different modality coming into the online program as well.
So yeah, definitely flexibility and community
Right.
with that support. So kicking it to both of you, but first, Dr. On, Kelvin alluded to some of the professions that his classmates are currently in. What have you found is tangible, or what professions have you seen the program benefit that students are in or be applicable to?
So someone like a Calvin who is working already in the company, working a lot with the sales or technology or data, and Calvin is quite different from others, but some people are in the IT world and some people have been working as, a group who happened to work with a lot of data set but didn't know what to do much for data decision making. And those people are coming into the sessions, and seems like that's where they get to know more about data and making some strategic suggestions to their managers or the people up there. So I think those are the one I can think about it. And we can also think about someone who was working also in medical area, and the medical area also requires a lot of data and data analysis. And at the same time, not just numbers, but you are also working with customer feedbacks or patient feedback that can be, not just numbers, it can be any didactic. And how do you want to understand that one is another area. The other group of people I can think about is those people who are in the school district who have been working in the classrooms, and they also want to go up to the next level as a leaders in K-12 education or K-20 educations. If those people who want to work with the data set, because now it is a very requirement that you really need to understand data to make the decisions in K-20 education system. So those are what I can think about as potential people. And the last group of the people will be after this one, they can think about PhD program. They can go to other doctorate in psychology, public health, sociology, and those are the other group of people who can jumping into the next level. And I'm the one who is attracting Calvin to go for PhD program after the fact. And we had a great conversation about that one. So there can be possible things that you can think about as your pathway as well.
Absolutely. I've definitely seen a lot of students in data analytics who they just want to make a change in their field, and being able to justify that with data is powerful. Rather than just saying, I have a hunch that this is a trend, I can actually justify that with numbers, which is amazing. I'm getting some additional questions in the chat. So with the question about extending your program beyond those 5 semesters, those 2 classes each, as long as you complete your program in under 3 years, you are able to do it. You just can't take a break longer than 1 year. So that means essentially if you stop taking courses in spring 2020, or just in the spring, if you weren't enrolled in courses that next spring, then you would need to reapply. So that's something that if you're ever thinking about taking a break, etc., just talk to your advocate or your advisor, and that's something that we can help you with. It's not unheard of. It's just important, and also important to think about, to be intentional about breaks, because there are times where students have all the momentum when they start, and then life happens. It does as it does. But staying surrounded in that environment and connected and having an intentional plan for that break really helps get to that end goal that Kelvin was talking about. And then as far as the on-campus resources, yes, we do have several students who actually do live in Miami or Fort Lauderdale who are close. It is possible to get a Kane card, and it is possible to opt into things like the fees that allow you to maybe go to the gym or to go to games, and we have had students do that. It's just something that if you are looking to do that, talk to your student advocate and your advisor, and we'll help you get that set up. Kane card is free. Fees, of course, will be added to your bill, but it's definitely something that is possible. Okay. All right. Aside from that, Kelvin, what advice would you give to someone who is considering entering this program?
Yeah, I mean, you're muted.
Sorry, my laptop was actually just lagging just now. So can you repeat the question? I just came back.
Yes, no worries. Kelvin, just if there's any advice that you would offer to someone thinking about the program. Still no? Oh no.
Oh.
I'm sorry, my
Maybe?
computer lagged one more time. Can you mind repeating the question one last time?
Yes. Any advice you would offer to prospects? And I can also type in the chat. It might be, let's see, yes. Kelvin, can you hear us in real time?
Well, maybe
We may have lost him
until
temporarily.
Calvin comes back, I
Until,
can answer.
exactly.
So what's advice to prospective students? So while online program can be very flexible and very adaptable because you are the one who will drive your learning process. However, sometimes because it's a learning through the online by yourself, sometimes you are not following or you're a little lost around it. So maybe just following the schedule in a way that you are keeping up with the weekly things. I think that is what the first, I guess, recommendation to everybody. The other one is because the faculty members are there to answer your question through email, live streams, and office hours. And don't be shy. And those people are there to answer and help you guys questions anytime. And I think that's the one that you should utilize as much as possible. Otherwise, you are not going to even getting much benefit to have faculty members around it. So that's my second one. The third one is because this word requires data and understanding of data and contextualizing data, no matter what discipline you are in, no matter where you are in, no matter what rank you are at, this one is not anymore niche. This one is a requirement to have, any jobs out there. So before anything to be late, and here's the one you can come over here and just try to work with us. And the last one is the reason that I really built up the program in this way is always people think about data analytic to be just number. That's not the one I am emphasizing through this program. The information, no matter what formats you're having it, it is didactic. It is some information you're getting it or numbers, anything that you are trying to understand, you must have some tools around it. That's where we are at. I don't think we're going to give you everything that you need. However, by going through this program, you guys get empowered to utilize any tools out there by yourself. Once you know this is what you can do, this is the one that I can work with, I can play with, then that's the one that you can getting into it. So for me, don't be late, don't be shy, come and do it with us. And I think that's what I want to say as advice. Now Calvin comes in, he has more advice than I do have it. So I'm going to ask Calvin, do you have any advice to anybody coming here that they are really thinking to apply or thinking to go for it, or even they just coming in here as a real student? How do you think about your experience to be helpful for others? That was our question. Ooh, okay. Did we lose it?
Yeah, my internet
Oh,
is
maybe
unstable right now. I apologize to everyone.
No
that's
worries.
Sorry
that's
about that,
okay.
everyone.
That's okay.
Can you hear me all right? Can I still speak or
And
am I cutting off?
Yes, we do.
we can hear, yeah, so if you have to cut off your camera and you can still hear us in real time, that could work.
Okay,
Can you still hear us?
turn this off. I wonder if this will make things better. Yes, I can hear you guys.
Amazing!
Okay.
Yay!
We
So
made it.
Kelvin,
Okay,
just any
so my
advice that
advice.
yes.
Yes. So my advice, as far as just going for this program, I mean, yeah, honestly, you gotta just kind of make the decision, just kind of go for it. That's kind of my advice, honestly. Is there ever going to be a convenient time to do, a program that's going to take you 20 months? Probably not. I mean, honestly, what made me kind of decide to do a master's was just going for it because I always had an excuse of, oh, well, maybe next year I'm busy right now. Well, actually, I just got a promotion, maybe next year. It's kind of one of those decisions I just made. It's like, you know what, I got to do it this year. Because if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it, right? But the passion for it, have the ambition to like learn and challenge yourself, then you're gonna, get everything you want out of this program and more. I mean, you can make this program as, as simple as you want it, or you could challenge yourself and kind of push the limits. It's ultimately up to you how you want to take that on. But I will say it is a lot of fun, especially for me. Like some programs and some Python packages I've used, I've never used in my life, right? So it was a lot of just like going for it. But now saying I'm able to do like sentimental analysis through Python of multi-regressions, right? I've never been able to do that before. And now I can say that I definitely have some experience. I can have some my future, right? So yeah, just got to go for it.
Gotcha. I like that you say that there's never truly a absolutely perfect convenient time.
Right.
Because I do see that delay, and then there are students saying, I wish I just started sooner, honestly, and had those skills sooner.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. Do you see a similar thing happen, Dr. On?
Yeah, I would say that, and we are busy with everything that we're doing it, and there is always a right timing. That's true, but there is also the time that you need to start and see how that goes. And everybody, the first time starting it, oh my God, 20 months, that's far away. But it might not be whenever you go through everything one by one. So
Mm.
yeah, it will be, life is always long and short. So let's just try to see how far we can go.
Mhm. Now, Dr. On, have you seen any changes or growth in your students from when they start the program to when they end?
Yeah, so the one I think Calvin can say more. So when they are done with their data analytic full programs, they had to go for qualitative analysis and sentiment analysis, and those are more based upon not the number. And some of people said, I did not even know that I would like this one. I did not even know that I can just do something. But interestingly, when they came to Capstone, many of them are using, even very comfortably using text analysis and interview. And I felt that was a very exciting moment because for me, that was my intention. That number is not going to be only data you will be playing with, and somehow everybody found that it's useful and they're using that one in their job, in their data analysis, not just capstone projects. I found that was fascinating. And I think that is the power of us using different types of data for making sense of what's happening with the human and human beings relationship and anything that we are working with. So for me, that is the biggest change I see it. And even though I found that can be really exciting things before I got into this one, but now I see that, yes, I need to push this one more than before.
Oh, ironically, I was having this very conversation
Ah,
today, and even just the very little skill of being able to
huh?
take when someone ever says, there's a study that said this, and you're able to say, well, let me see what the confounding variables were. Let me see what people are
Oh,
talking about.
whoa.
And so, yes, I'm not just an advocate. I can definitely speak to this topic, but you guys, it is a helpful skill even beyond your professional lives that I've seen people
Yeah.
be able to interpret information, especially with all of the information that is coming out where you have to justify how real it is, how rigorous it is, etc., and how it's changing every generation, etc. Um, Kelvin, if you
Whoa.
are with us, I do want to hear about what made you choose
Ah,
UM specifically, and then also this program, if you
Yes,
can.
I can
Yeah.
definitely hear you. I changed my location to closer to my the internet that I have here, far away from the window. I think that was probably the issue. Uh, but what made me choose UM? Um, so when I decided to go for a master's program, the criteria that I had was one, I did not want to take the GRE. I I'm against standardized tests. I have ever since I was a child. I hate tests. I'm not good with tests. I could do a project, no problem, but tests I've always been terrible at. I hate going through that pressure and studying. Second, I had to be a full-time. I had to work full-time. I didn't want to put um my progression in my career on pause, right? I wanted to do both. I wanted to be able to do both and go to a program that allowed me to do both, right? And I wanted to go to a school with a name, with a brand name. I think just as important as the education that you receive is the brand name that comes along with it and the alumni network that comes along with it, right? Because yeah, that alumni network base is gonna help you in the future to get that job, to get that interview, right? It goes a long way, that recommendation. And UM definitely fit a lot of those boxes. Um, uh, it has exactly what I needed. And especially and the cost itself as well compared to other master's programs. Me being in New York, especially, definitely a lot pricier. So UM allowed me to basically checked all the boxes for me, and that was basically an easy decision. And not only that, but the program also allows me to do you know, a little bit of everything. A lot of the issues with some other programs that I saw was it was very niche and specialized in one part of the data analytics field, right? One is heavy on research, one is heavy on just stats, one is heavy on computer science, right? And I think, especially in today's age, in the data field, you have to be flexible in multiple branches of the data space, right? So you have to be able to talk through statistics, the computer science portions, right? And the research and critical thinking portion of being a data professional. And yeah, the coursework was also a huge factor of me deciding to come here as well, because I get to do a little bit of everything, right? I'm not just doing math all the time. I'm not just coding all the time, right? I'm not just reading and writing papers all the time, right? It's every class has its own specialization that you go through, and in that 7 weeks, and you kind of get to go through that. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah. So yeah.
Absolutely. And then last but not least, Dr. On, why should the people listening come to to this program?
Calvin said well that brand is a biggie. However, I want to say from my own value that sometimes there are lots of confusion about data science versus whatever I am doing over here. The reason I built up this program is not just because I want everybody to be running prediction modeling, just chunking the numbers, and that's not what my value is. My value to create this program is having the data, making sense of data, and the data to be any type of data that you can having it and contextualize that one. And from this master program, you get empowered to become the person who will be enjoying and playing with your data set to make sense of it. And once you're done with these programs, you go ahead and learn that one anytime, because remember, and next day and maybe next year, we have a different type of requirements that you must know from any data analytics that you will be having it. And the one that you need is, you don't have to memorize everything, you don't have to do everything, you just need to know where to find the what, as long as you have a good basic foundation to work with and play with the data set. So from my end, that has been my value to this program, and hopefully that was the one that has been over time growing, in the sense that we can have data to be the one that we get the policy and practices making sense of it. And I think that's the reason that I think this program is well suited to go for any disciplines without much technical knowledge coming in. And capstone project is the one that you are accumulate everything based upon what you learn, and you can apply those skill sets and experiences into whatever discipline you are having it. And that's the way that this capstone project has been created and that has been operated. So if you think about that, you learn the skills and utilizing data, different types of data, making sense of it, getting empowered that you can do some research from the experiences, and then go in any other application, and you are always able to learn any new things. And if that is what you are looking for, this is the program you can come. And I will be there to support you as much as I can. And I think that's my job here. And I am going to be really happy to see anybody coming into this program.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for the insights that you've shared. They've been really helpful. I also, as we have about 5 minutes left, want to talk about some of the resources that are available in the program, some of the things that are coming up. So we talked about career development. We do have a career center that you guys would have access to as students. It's our TOEFL Career Center. It can help you with brushing up your resume, applying, etc. And then we also have our online library. Some students look to get connected with just graduate students from different disciplines. And so there is a graduate student association that I've had students join, and they're able to get both an online and an on-campus perspective. And of course, we do have resources and accommodations for students with differences in abilities. Beyond that, just some things that are coming down the pipeline here. We do have for this application, just to kind of give you an overview, there is an online application, personal statement that you'll be writing, your resume, speaking of resume development, official transcripts, and then 2 letters of recommendation for someone who can speak to your work ethic, maybe your academic development. It's always nice to have a well-rounded academic, professional point of view. And then if you are looking to use any kind of federal aid, your FAFSA, which all of these documents your enrollment advisor can walk you through and can talk to you about the criteria that is needed. All right, so just a important deadline, and I want everyone to mark this in your calendar, etch this in your brain, etc. March 10th. So March 10th is our early admissions deadline. That is the deadline that you would need to submit your application by to be able to take advantage of that 50% tuition waiver, which is so helpful because it cuts your tuition in half. We really want this to be accessible for you guys. So we've made those tuition adjustments just so you're able to make your dreams come true. You also have a $300 deposit fee waiver if you're able to apply by that term. So again, Monday, March 10th, and then that is our contact information for our enrollment advisors. And if you are ready to start that application, go ahead and scan the QR code on the screen. We would love to have you. Would love to have you. Other than that, Kelvin and Dr. On, any sign-off points that you would like to make? Anything that you would like to say?
Gavin, do you have anything?
Yeah, hit me up on LinkedIn if you have any other questions, because I know I was like gone for like 10 minutes of it. So if you have any other questions from a student perspective, yeah, you guys hit me up on LinkedIn. Sorry about that.
No
Yeah,
worries. And we were able to
perfect.
hear. No worries. Well, everyone, I hope to see you guys soon, connect with you. Anything else, of course, can be discussed with your enrollment advisor. Get connected, reach out, and we will see you soon, okay? See your applications as well. All right. Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you, Rihanna. Thank you,
Bye.
Thank you
Gavin.
so much. Have a
Thank
good one,
Everybody.
guys.
you.
Bye.